What up, Jaguars? Mr. Lar back with another video demonstration. This time it's the tuba edition of All I Want for Christmas Is You. Just a couple heads up for tubas. You've got a flat right off the bat on your first note. That is a D flat. That's going to be second and third valve, and it leads right to a C. Okay. Also, in your key signature throughout the entire song, you only have one flat. Even though I just mentioned that extra D flat they put in there, you've got one flat, which means that you will have B flat only. A's and E's will both be natural. Okay, so make sure you're using second valve for E's and A's. They do put those D flats in there quite a bit. They also throw in some A flats. A flat is first, A natural is second. Remember that if it's flatted once, unless there's a natural sign, if it's flatted once, it's going to stay flat for the entire measure. Like for instance, at measure 31 and 32, they put a flat in front of the first note, but then there's no other flats for the rest of the notes. Those notes are still flat. Okay, those are all going to be D flats. Okay, you also have an F sharp at measure 38, beat 4 of 38. F sharp is just like D flat. It's valves 2 and 3. Okay, you also want to make sure that you're ready for this melody at 45. It's a really cool time for the low brass to shine here. 45 melody is going to sound like this. Okay, check it out. All right, and be ready for that lead in to measure 53. Okay, now speaking of that lead in, make sure that you're getting E natural, D, and then D flat. All right, I think I figured that wrong going into 53, but be ready for that. The other part that comes up right after that, after you play some more D flats, you've got some C's and then some D's. There's this syncopated part that happens at measure 57. Check this out. And then it picks back up with those quarter notes of 61, okay? I know there's not a lot of time to breathe. Breathe when you got to breathe, okay? Try and breathe like on beat 4 of a measure if you have to, since you're going to be the only tuba player, Xander. Just give it your best try, okay? Now, if you don't play it perfectly, don't worry. I don't expect everybody to play this perfectly, all right? When you do the recording, though, make sure you set up your recording so it's head on, like straight on. I'm doing it from the side so you can see which valves that I'm pressing down. I know it's kind of harder to see straight on which valves I might be pressing, so I'm doing it from a side angle. When you do this, make sure we can see you and the instrument, obviously. Now, what we don't want to hear, though, is the backing track, the guide track, okay? You got to use the guide track to record with, but you have to use earbuds or headphones, okay? You're going to hear me use my external speakers, my sound system here in the room, but this is just for demonstration purposes only, so you can hear how your part goes along with everything else, okay? So give it your best try. Don't forget to start with the clap at the very beginning. Got to have your hands free for that, okay? Here we go. Follow along, and here it is from the top.
All right, the first thing we're going to do is line up our audio and video with a clap. You'll hear one measure of metronome, you'll hear me count you in, and then we're going to clap together on beat 1. Make sure that your hands are very visible in the video and that you're clapping right in time. Here we go. And 1, 2, ready, and clap. All right, if you missed it, go ahead and restart the video and try again. Now let's get ready to perform. Make sure that your head, shoulders, and instrument are clearly visible. You're going to hear one measure of metronome, one measure of count off, and then we're in at the beginning of All I Want for Christmas Is You. Here we go. And 1, 2, ready, play. Keep your instrument up, wave at the camera, you're all done.
All right, and that is it. So if you'll notice, I didn't play that exactly right. I tried to get as many correct notes as I could. I didn't stop even though I made a mistake. Don't let mistakes frustrate you, okay? I want you to plan on doing at least 2 or 3 takes in a row where you just play through the entire recording. Even if you mess up, don't let a simple mistake where you miss 1 or 2 notes say like, oh, I gotta stop and start the whole recording over again. No, just play through the whole thing because you might be surprised that just because those 1 or 2 mistakes, that's really it, all right? For instance, when I got to almost 53, I had trouble getting the walk down from the F, the E, to the D, to the D flat. Okay, this part right here. Okay, when I was doing this in the recording, when the actual track was playing, I struggled with that part, but I didn't let it stop me. I just kept going, okay? Especially because I know there's not a whole lot of places to breathe, as I mentioned before. Breathe when you gotta breathe, okay? Best of luck to you, and just try your best, and I'll catch you on the next one.